This is Lake Placid, New York, and this is how we're used to seeing it. Cold and snowy. Average daily temperature in the winter, 19 degrees. It has been home to 2 Olympic Games in 1932 and 1980. But it is also home to our winter athletes who train here year-round. Some of the facility is what you'd expect, like the 5 ice rinks for hockey, speed, and figure skating. But you might not expect to see this. Dominating the Lake Placid landscape are 2 massive ski jumps, 13 and 26 stories tall, built at a cost of $5.4 million. They allow ski jumpers to fly off the slopes even in the middle of summer. Casey Colby is the classic local boy who made good. His years of training here in Lake Placid paid off with a trip to the Winter Games in Nagano, Japan.
It was incredible. You're going there competing against the same guys that we compete against all year long, but it's a totally different stage, and everybody knows it's a totally different stage.
No snow? No problem. Instead of ice, skiers push off onto a track made of porcelain, the same material used in your bathroom sink. Unlike ice, the porcelain is exactly the same every run. Fast. Jumpers will hit speeds of more than 50 miles per hour.
People will come up to you and say, well, you're doing this in the summer, how does this relate to the winter? It's absolutely the same. Jumpsuits are the same, helmets, boots, everything. It's just a continuation of what we do all year on snow.
The landing hill is covered in a special plastic imported from Finland. Wet it down, and competitors say it's just like landing on snow. But there's no simulating cold winter temperatures, and wearing full ski gear in the middle of the summer?
Really hot. It's like wearing a wetsuit when it's dry and going running.
And every jump means another trip up their own Olympic Stairmaster.
There's 172 stairs on the tower. Everybody that jumps and walks up this thing all summer long pretty much knows exactly how many stairs they have to take every round.
When they finally get to the top, it's a heart-stopping thrill ride all the way down.
Things are happening so fast right before you take off and during your takeoff movement that it's kind of a black spot. You know what happened during that part because of the results in the air, but you have to trust your feelings a lot. But in the air, it's just fun.
If the ski jumpers are the highest flying, the closest to the ground are the lugers. The luge is the fastest of the winter sports. Lugers can hit speeds in excess of 90 miles per hour. Brian Martin and Mark Grimmett brought home the bronze medal from Nagano, Japan in the 2-man luge.
I couldn't see the scoreboard, and Mark put both his arms over his head, and at that moment I knew that we had done it.
And I looked up at the clock. It was just a tremendous feeling of relief and excitement, all combined in one.
Getting that medal draped around my neck was, it was a childhood dream fulfilled.
The competitive edge that put them on the medal stand is behind the closed doors of this building, the Luge training facility. Inside, it's kept cool because this ice is real. Although in competition the track is nearly a mile long, here they only need 60 yards of track to focus on the most crucial part of the run, the start. A battery of timers, cameras, and computers monitor every detail. Luge is the only Winter Olympic event that's timed down to 1,000th of a second. That's why these athletes spend 4 days a week trying to shave a fraction off their start time.
We could take a mediocre athlete and improve their performance by 1%. That wouldn't do much. But you get to the top level, the elite level, and a very small difference can mean the difference between coming home with a medal or a memory.
Like the luge, bobsledding is a winter event that takes year-round training. Summertime bobsledders also have to concentrate on the start. Here, they do it on metal tracks. But when they put the pedal to the metal for real,
they've got a skid at the tent. Either the graveyard's gonna get them, or they're taking home a medal!
It's a little bit crazy, but once you do it, take that first ride, get the adrenaline rush, most people are hooked.
One athlete who got hooked was Jason Rouser. After winning the gold medal for the 400-meter relay during the games in Atlanta, he changed his sport to bobsledding.
I thought it was just get in the sled and go, but you have power, you have finesse, and speed. And with the background that I have coming from track and field, I have a little of all those three elements. Just have to put them together now and push them behind the sled.
Let's go, Carol!
Jason is not the only new recruit to the sport. For the first time in Olympic history, women are competing at the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Games.
Go women's bobsled! We're number 1. Up until now, the men thought that women couldn't do it. Well, we've proved them wrong, and the U.S. is the strongest team in the world.
No matter who's on the sled, this can be a dangerous sport. Some crashes produce a unique injury called an ice burn.
In Cortina, Italy, in 1996. This is about 1.5 seconds on the ice because the sled came over and then came back down on the runners. But that's kind of one of the fun parts of it.
I'm a dead man. I gotta go from here, hit that jump down there, and I'm probably gonna land right near that lane line. See that lane line down there? Yeah, I'm gonna land right there.
Another high-flying sport that won't wait for winter is freestyle skiing. The freestyle facility at the Lake Placid Training Center starts athletes out on trampolines. Once they master the ups and downs there, they move over to the ramps. The ramps are the same size as those used in competition. So the high-flying jumping is exactly like it is in winter, except for one thing.
And that is water is flat and the snow landings are at 37 degrees. So that's the major adjustment that these athletes will have to make from the pool facility here to the jump facilities in the winter.
The impact is softened by an enormous blast of compressed air that bubbles up through the water. There's one more surprise at Lake Placid.
3, 2, 1, go!
The Russians aren't coming, they're already here. Although fierce competitors during the games, Russian and American athletes practice side by side in the summer. In fact, Olympic teams from 14 other countries rent practice time at this state-of-the-art facility.
I think it's one of the best places for freestyle trainings. Excellent here.
What's good for the Russians is really good for the United States, too. It elevates the level of competition and really helps to evolve the whole sport